Alright, so after coming out of the other side of a pretty difficult period of my life, I have real cause for optimism and I'm just feeling fucking good. For the first time in a long time, feeling really good in myself. And what I want to do in today's video is just talk about some of the things that I've learned as a result of moving through that period of life. And use that just to make some points about basically what to do and what to think when things maybe aren't going so well, and just give you some hope and just some optimism. So the first thing that I want to say is when we are struggling and when things are not going well and when we're worried about how the future's going to pan out or what's going on in our lives, we're very, very quick to be immediately pessimistic and to catastrophize and to look at all the ways things could go wrong. And I think it's very useful just to be aware of the fact that sometimes life goes exactly the way you wanted it to go. And oftentimes we don't see that perspective because we'll look at all the ways it could go wrong as to sort of gear ourselves up for the fact that it might do. And we don't pay attention to the fact that actually you might get exactly the news you were after, or you might get exactly the break you were hoping for, or things might just go well. That's a really important lesson, and it's something I've learned very quickly recently, is when things are going badly, you can turn that corner very quickly and you won't realise that it's coming until it does. Something that I've kept a real hold of has been hope. If you're in a bad place and you're worrying about things, you can either be pessimistic and be worried and maybe things don't turn out the way you wanted them to, and you've spent the whole time leading up to that break feeling negative, and now something negative's happened so you feel negative further. You can do that. Or you can have some semblance of hope of, you know what, this doesn't feel good and I can't control the fact that I'm worried and that I'm fearful, because that is just a response. That is part, when things are going wrong, you're going to worry. There's not so much you can do about that. But what you can do is be aware of the fact that it just might go right. It might go right. And you really have nothing to lose about being hopeful in that sense, because you're either pessimistic and it goes wrong and you feel bad all the way through, or you retain some semblance of hope of maybe it'll go right. And if it doesn't go right, you were going to feel bad anyway. So you might as well at least hold on to some sense of positivity in the meantime. And if it goes well, you'll very quickly be thankful for the fact that, wow, life does sometimes turn out the way I want it to. Second thing, when life is hard and when you're being tested, you will very quickly find yourself encountering some great positives. And for me, that has been things like my friends and my family and Sam Harris and my dogs, and just parts of life you realise actually no matter what's going on elsewhere, what else is happening, I've got some good things in my life. And when times are tough, that cream really rises to the top and all of a sudden you're thrust into awareness of the fact that actually my best friend's an absolute fucking legend, or my mum is a real rock and a real good person, and I'm lucky for that. Those things happen. And when life is hard, it is useful to be aware of the fact that there are good people in your life, there are good people in the world. Even if things elsewhere aren't going well, that is a certain positive and it will help you through difficult times. No matter what goes on, you have good things in your life, and when pain finds its way to you, that often becomes very significant and very aware, because those people come around you and they hold you and they'll push you through when things are hard. Be aware of that. A branch off of that is something I've noticed as a result of looking at the people that have been there for me and have helped me when I've needed it, is just how much I would want to be exactly what it is that these people have been for me in their times of need, and further still in anyone else's time of need. When you experience pain, you're very aware of just how much you appreciate the people that are there for you and the things that make you feel better. And I think it's worth realising that you can be that for someone else. And further still, you can't be that for someone else if you don't understand, and if you're not empathetic, and if you're not loving and caring and kind and just nice. And a lot of the time, that sense of understanding comes from experiencing discomfort. You can't really be empathetic if you don't understand what it feels to feel pain. And as a result of that, if you are going through a difficult time, you can take a very definite silver lining of the fact that my experience of discomfort here means that I can be what I want to have in my times of difficulty for someone else. And that's a definite positive. I hold myself to a standard where no matter what else happens in life, all I want to be is helpful for the people that need it. I want to be the hug that someone needs when they really need a hug. And for me to be able to have that, and maybe for you to be able to have that, you have to experience discomfort. So when you do, just be aware of the fact that that gears you up to help someone else who might need it, and that is surely a good thing. I had an experience as a result of having a really bad day where I was a bit of a dick to a stranger. I wasn't awful, but I wasn't as nice as I should have been. And after an exchange with him where he actually detailed to me that he had cancer, I very, very quickly realised that you don't know what other people are going through, and just because you're having a bad time, it doesn't mean that you get to enact that on other people. Obviously, we have our emotions, we have our ways of being, but I stopped this person and I said, you know what, I'm really sorry that I've been so abrupt and rude with you, because, you know, I'm just having a really hard time and it's not your fault, and I'm sorry. And there was a nice connection that this person and I had, this random stranger, and I thoroughly appreciated the fact that he was as understanding of my pain as he was. And I suppose just an extension on the aforementioned point of just be aware of the fact that you can be the kindness to other people that you would appreciate receiving in your own dark times. I want it to be known that life does get happier, and I really lost sight of that at one point, and I'm really aware of that now, that things can get better. Things do get better. When we're struggling and when we're in pain, we just lose sight of the fact that things do actually perk up. It might go the way you wanted it to go, or you might just heal. That happens too. If you're going through a hard time, just keep going. There's something to be said about the fact that when life is really putting you through it, that time is always passing, and as a result of that, you are healing, and you're getting closer and closer and closer to better days. And those better days do come. The sun rises again, things change, the world moves, and the flowers begin to blossom and bloom. Just stick around. Just stick around through that. I know it's hard, and I know sometimes all you want to do is just shell away and push everything away and just cease to be. You don't realise how quickly those clouds can lift and how quickly things can get better. So just remain hopeful, because you've really got nothing to lose. So with that being said, I hope this video helps. I hope you're happy and just remain positive. See you in a bit.